My name is Jenna, and I'm 24 years old, and I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 2. Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas, basically your pancreas stops producing insulin. Everybody's bodies, whether or not you're diabetic, makes insulin, but type 1 diabetics' pancreases don't make it anymore. So that is why we have to, supplement that insulin with insulin shots or with an insulin pump. Type 1 diabetes, you can't really control whether or not you get it. Type 2 is more of a, has to do with your lifestyle and how do you take care of yourself, how you eat. It, affects it a lot, especially if, my blood sugar is high or low or, sometimes both in a day, that really makes you feel pretty bad. You don't have nearly as much energy to get things done. And I mean, some days I'm just fine, I don't have any problems, and then some days I have a really rough day, and it makes everything that I do harder. Sometimes even just things as simple as vacuuming the floor. If I have to vacuum the whole house, sometimes my blood sugar goes low after doing that, which is a pretty simple task, but sometimes it affects me badly, even just doing that. To help manage my diabetes, a lot of times, obviously, I check my blood sugar throughout the day to help kind of monitor what it's at, whether it's high or low, and then if it's high, I will give insulin. I have an insulin pump, so I'll, instead of shots, I give it through my pump. And if I'm low, then I'll have some sugar, normally a juice box or 2, depending on how low I am. And then just making sure that I give insulin after I've eaten food so that it doesn't make my blood sugar go high later. Just trying to make sure that I do eat, because if I don't, then my blood sugar will go low if I don't eat anything at all throughout the day. Having a cure would be probably one of the best things that I could think to ask for, but not just for me, because I mean, obviously it would help me a lot. I've lived with diabetes basically my whole life, and that's really all I know. I don't remember a time really without it. I can't remember because I was so young, but it would make, my life completely different. It would be super helpful and make things easier for me as, just living my life, but also as a mom. It would make things easier. But it would mean a lot to me for so many of the younger kids that maybe haven't had to live with it as long, so then they wouldn't have to experience maybe as much of the things that I have. Maybe their blood sugars have been pretty controlled. Maybe they haven't had as, bad times as awful, being in the hospital for being dehydrated and having such terrible blood sugars throughout my life at different times. It can be really hard. Some of the little kids that have it, it would be great if they didn't have to have it anymore. It would mean a lot for me. Obviously, I would love to have a cure for myself, but I really would love for a bunch of other people that have had it, or people that have had it even longer than I have, and they've managed to, keep everything under control. Just to take that away for them, for everybody, it would be an incredible thing.
That was my sister Jenna. She's had diabetes for longer than I've been alive. And for that reason, my charity is JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. JDRF funds research to find better treatments, prevention, and a cure for type 1 diabetes. JDRF has already funded so much research, and with your help, they can fund even more promising research and find a cure for type 1 diabetes for my sister and for everyone else living with it every day.